Hello people, welcome to the show. We've got a good one for you today. My name is Ivan Pereira and this is the little bit of the internet where I talk about news, culture and other things that matter to me. Before we get stuck in, I'd like to say a huge thank you to everybody who's been supportive of this little endeavor of mine. Everybody who sent constructive criticism, who shared, hit those likey buttons, I'm feeling those. Thank you so much and I'll try to keep improving week by week. A big thank you very much. Muito obrigado, mulțumesc, dziękuję, and escaricasco. We start today's news in 1986, the year that the Challenger exploded on the way to space. Phil Collins and Platoon were making a stand on the charts and Michael Jackson was still black. Sometime this year, a man lost his job. A lot of people lose their jobs all the time, but this guy was so embarrassed that he just started walking. And he walked, and then he walked some more. In 1994, his wife declared him legally dead so that she could collect benefits for her and his 2 children. 30 years after he started walking, turned up some time ago in Ohio and applied for a driver's license. In his hearing, the judge said that he has been pronounced legally dead and nothing can change that decision, even though the man is standing right there in front of him, alive and well. I leave it to Americans to not acknowledge their mistakes, to declare a man legally dead while he's standing right there applying for a driver's license. It's a bit like calling the Native Americans Indians long after they figured out they didn't really made it to India. Wait, you guys aren't Indians? Nope, we're Apache. Fuck it, you're Indians, you're brown enough. Other news, the billionaire of music Paul McCartney, also known as the Cute One, played an impromptu show in Covent Garden this week. He just turned up and said, "I'd like to play a couple of songs for you, so get your cameras out." And people did. Thousands of people witnessed Paul McCartney play a few songs off his new record, and then, because they didn't have time to rehearse enough of the new songs, they played one of those songs again. As far as free advertisement goes, "Billionaire goes busking" is one hell of a headline. Move on to the media scare of the day. Headlines on the internet say that Oreos and blowjobs are as addictive as cocaine. But I've never heard of anyone stealing from their own family to support their sugar addiction or going into prostitution because they crave Oreos. So a bit more research I think is demanded. In this experiment, some lab rats were put in a maze, and on one side they had Oreos and the other ones they had rice cakes, and the rats would continuously go to the Oreos and they would actually eat the white bits just like us. In the experiment, those lab rats were put in a maze, and on one side they had cocaine, on the other one they had morphine, and they found that the rats would go to cocaine as much as they would go for Oreos. Now this doesn't seem very scientific to me. If you would have a maze with all 4 products there and they would go to Oreos and cocaine in equal matter, that'd be alright. But after this experiment, you can't just put up titles that blowjobs, cocaine and Oreos are equally addictive. The only thing they've managed to prove is that addiction is actually a thing. The only thing that's groundbreaking in this study is the groundbreaking waste of time. Other news, an ad campaign by UN Women uses Google search methods to prove that inequality is still rampant throughout our culture. In the 21st century, if you go to Google and type things like "women need to," Google will very helpfully predict lovely things like "their place," or "be controlled," or "be disciplined." The campaign used various examples of women of different cultures and creed, and if you're thinking of blaming Google for this, it's not that simple. Google's predictions are based on what people mostly search and write, so I guess there's a much larger way to go for human equality. But from a story of misogyny and inequality of our species, we move on to one that still shows the caring capacity and the determination that we're able. The famous Chicago Marathon took place last week, and it was won by someone that I don't really care about, and the 2nd and 3rd places were won by somebody nobody really gives a shit. What I want to talk about is about the man who came dead last of all the 40,000 participants. Who suffers from muscular dystrophy finished the Chicago Marathon 17 hours after he started the race. A large crowd followed him and supported him and chanted as he crossed the finish line, His big message after he finished the race was, if you dream it, you can make it happen. So we finished today's show with a hopeful sign for our species and a great example of human perseverance. Now it's time for this week's question. What do you think that it's more addictive? Cocaine, blowjobs, or Oreos? Write your answer on the description and be as specific as you like. While you're down there, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you very much for spending this little bit of time with me. You've just been filled in. My name is Ivan Pereira. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.